Good evening and welcome to day 8 of my Entropia universe journey. Now to start things off, I need to let you guys know that on my day 7 video, I messed up my calculations, specifically for how much ammunition costs. Where on that video, all I did was look at my ammo usage per shot, which was 255. So putting that in the trade terminal, I got 0.02. To which I then simply multiplied that by 1,000 and got my number, 20 ped. Now the problem is, there were hidden numbers, which ended up very quickly changing my results for day 7. However, we will get to that when I actually figured out I had messed up my calculations in my playtime. So, the first thing I did when I logged in was head back to Port Atlantis, since the North Swamp camp doesn't have an auction. I had gotten paid and figured I'll put in $30. With that deposit, I had 329.32 ped. Before the deposit, I had 39.82, meaning the $30 gave me 289.5 ped. Now, for anyone who has watched previous videos of mine for this game, should know that I have a deep fascination with the deeds, shares, and the Entropia Unreal token. My current plan with my deposits that I make is to effectively have all that money that I put in be invested into something that will make me returns. For now, the most obvious ones seem to be the Arcadia Underground Deeds and the Calypso Land Deed Trust share. Especially with this yearly event happening on Calypso. I feel like that share is about to pay out quite nicely. So with a deposit, I purchased 3 Arcadia Underground Deeds and 1 Calypso Trust share. With that finished, I quickly make my way back to the North Swamp camp. Now I had decided to do a little experiment. I wanted to see if I could actually profit hunting. I had done 2 hunts on day 7, and my goal is to do 10 hunts in total. Today I managed to do 5 with the parameters that I had set up for my experiment, which of course I made fairly simple. Using my Z12 Barbarella with the Eagle Eye and Syncadus modifications, and for healing I will be using the IO Pulse unit, all of which is available on the $30 starter bundle. Firing 1,000 shots, hunting the level 3 Exorosaurs outside the North Swamp camp. Once I used up that specified amount of ammo, I then count up all of the loot and compare it to the cost of ammunition along with the repairs for the weapon and my healing unit. I mean, sounds simple enough. Now, I will show my skills and professions that I believe are important for this experiment before each hunt, but I should let you know that the progress is a little skewed due to the fact I'm taking a Neurobiotic Booster A5, which increases my skill gain by 50% for 1 hour. So, starting off, we'll go over the weapon stats. At 61.8 efficiency, ammo usage is 255 per shot, attacks per minute is 43, damage interval is 4.9 to 9.9, range is 58.5, hit ability is 8.6, and critical hit ability is 8.0. The skills that I believe are important for this hunt are aim 280, anatomy 438, combat reflexes 79, evade 25, inflict range damage 144, laser weaponry technology 570, rifle 495, skinning 103, and weapons handling 182. Finally, my professions. Laser sniper is at level 3, ranged laser level 2, evader level 0, and animal looter level 0. So, now the hunt begins. Starting at 4,824 ammo, my endpoint was 3,824. The worst part about this hunt? I forgot to take the skill booster. To be honest, this hunt was much different from my last 2 I did, getting an unusually large amount of drops. For example, one gave me 1.68 ped and another one gave me 3.81 ped. At the end of the hunt, looking at the shrapnel and loot together, I came back with a whopping 31.41 ped. Now, I was still at this point under the assumption that my ammo cost was still only 20 ped, but because the returns were so drastically high, I had to look at my ammo cost just to make sure that I genuinely came out of this hunt with a 10 ped profit. Which is when I realized I had done my math wrong. Instead of it only being 20 ped, it turned out the cost was 25.5 ped per 1,000 shots. To which I immediately went back to my day 7 notes, because now instead of coming out of that day with a 3 ped gain, it very quickly turned into a 7.774 ped loss for my 2 hunts that I performed on day 7. With this hunt, what I thought was a 10 ped gain dropped quite significantly. Now, with the accurate ammo cost of 25.5, I then added up the repair cost of 1.03, getting 26.53. Even though I did still come out positive with this hunt, it was only a 4.88 ped profit. However, considering that yesterday was at a 7.74 loss, my total earnings was negative 2.894 ped. Disheartened that I'm in the red, but hopeful with the result of this recent hunt, I move all of my loot over to storage, convert my shrapnel, and prepare for my next hunt. Now, because my skills have improved and my weapon stats did change ever so slightly, I will give another quick run on my weapon stats, but I'm only going to show the end results of my skills after all my hunts I perform. Now, I'll just mention the stats that have changed, which are damage interval 5.0 to 9.9, range 58.7, my apologies, hit ability 8.7, and critical hit ability 8.2. Now to start the hunt. This time there were only a couple notable drops. One in particular was worth 5.71, which absolutely made me hopeful for this hunt. Unfortunately, the only other thing that got my attention was a glitch where a Blazar fragment loot notice got stuck on the top left of my screen and didn't go away for the rest of my playtime. Now, coming back, my loot was worth 11.72 and the shrapnel was 15.55, making 27.27. Now for my costs, with ammo being 25.5 and my repairs being 0.95, my cost was 26.45. So my end result for this hunt was 0.82 pec, which was still a profit, but my overall was still in the negative at at 2.074. So getting ready for the hunt again, I'll go over the weapon stats that are different from before. Attacks per minute is now 44. Damage interval 5.0 to 10.0. Range 59.1. Hit ability 8.9. Critical hit ability 8.6. With that out of the way, time to hunt. Now this hunt went so poorly. The only thing of note are stuff that isn't even loot related. One was a codex rank increase for hunting Exorosaurs, and the other a notice saying my max health increased to 90. That's it. Heading back to North Swamp Camp, I was terrified to even look at how bad the losses were going to be. But for the sake of my experiment, let's get this out of the way. The shrapnel totaled to 10.67, the loot 4.74. I only made 15.41 ped on that hunt. With my ammo at 25.5 and the repairs being 0.89, that total... so a total of... 26.39. So a total of 26.39. I was in the hole for 10.98 profit, which means overall I am now negative 13.054 ped for this experiment. I became so disheartened with this whole test that I ended up taking a break. Sometime later, just wanting to get the test over with at this point, but refusing to give up on doing at least 10 runs with this hunt, I log back in, ready to get back to it. Once again, noting the stats that changed on the weapon. Damage interval 5.1 to 10.1. Range 59.3. Hit ability 9.2. Critical hit ability 8.9. Now, once again, nothing of note really happened for this hunt either, putting me on edge that it was going to be another major loss. Heading back to North Swamp Camp and checking the loot, I made 8.01. The shrapnel, 13.92, totaling to 21.93. With the ammo being 25.5 and the repairs being 0.74, making my cost 26.24, meaning I lost 4.31. Totaling the entire experiment so far to negative 17.364 ped. Putting my stuff in storage and getting ready to do another hunt. Here are the weapon stat differences. Attacks per minute 45, damage interval 5.1 to 10.2, range 59.7, hit ability 9.4, and critical hit ability 9.2. Early on this time I did actually get some notable loot, totaling to 2.09. Unfortunately, this was the only time on this hunt that caught my attention. Heading back, dreading the amount of losses I was once again going to get, I checked the amount gained. 8.13 in loot and 12.05 in shrapnel, totaling to 20.18. My cost with ammo and repairs being 26.21, meaning I lost another 6.03 ped. In total, I'm now down to 23.394 ped. By this time, it was about 12:40, almost 1 a.m., so I figured I'd stop the hunts there for today. And since I've just been collecting all of the loot instead of immediately selling it like I did on day 7, I was curious to see just how much I could sell the animal muscle oil since it was the closest to 1K in loot. So I head back to Port Atlantis to look at the auction real quick, glancing at the markup and all that other good jazz, and then I went and logged out for the day. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.